Starter family, what is up? It's your boy Blue, coming back to you guys with another video today. In one of my previous videos, I talked about base set. Today, I'm going to be talking about Jungle. What is Jungle, do you ask? Well, if you're new to collecting, the Jungle set was the second Pokemon TCG set ever released, and it was released in 1999, right after the base set. In Japan, it was called Pokemon Jungle, and in English, it was just called Jungle. The set is based around the original red and blue games, and green if you had the Japanese copy in '96. It is based on the area known as the Safari Zone, so every Pokemon has that jungle-esque feel to them. It feels like you were out on a safari. You're in the Safari Zone, you're catching your Kangaskhans, you're catching your Rhydons, you're catching your Nidoqueens, and in red and blue you were catching Nidoran. You weren't catching Nidoqueens, I'll tell you that much. The Japanese version was released March 5th, 1997, and as you can see from this pack art and this box art, the art was so cool. It was very much that 90s style, and the English version was released June 6th, 1999, so 2 years later, and these are the famous packs with Scyther, Wigglytuff, and Flareon on the front. In my opinion, I think the Japanese packs look cooler. You know, it's one style pack, I get it, and it's one style box, and you know, Jungle has 3 packs, and you know, one style box. I still think the Japanese set looks cooler in terms of the actual packaging. Call me a nostalgia head, or maybe I've never had the opportunity to see Japanese Jungle opened. I think it just looks very, very cool compared to the English Jungle. The original Japanese set had 48 cards in it, but the English set had 64 cards because leave it to Wizards of the Coast to make themselves unique. Wizards of the Coast decided to print non-holo versions of all the holo cards. Well, why is that, do you ask? Well, they needed a way to have rare cards that didn't have every single pack had a holo. In the Jungle era in Japanese, there was pretty much all holos if you were getting a rare, right? There was no non-holo rare, and Jungle in English needed a non-holo rare card. The first edition also included this really cool error Pikachu. It's almost this like Pokemon Snap style Pikachu that was only available in the first edition in English. Looks insane. Definitely a collector's item. You can't get it in the regular set. Wizards of the Coast really liked to keep everyone on their toes in '99. They would have random errors all over the place, right? You know, something that I find super interesting about English Jungle has 3 pack cards, as opposed to today, you know, most sets have 4 pack cards. Set has Scyther, Wigglytuff, and Flareon on the front. It feels kind of random when you think about, you know, where are all the Pokemon that could have been on these covers, and they only chose 3 kind of very random Pokemon, in my opinion. Maybe they field tested which Pokemon were popular. That's just speculation. But Wigglytuff, Scyther, and Flareon on the front just felt very random. They're not very iconic packs, very hard packs to find. They're very synonymous with the Jungle sets. They're just an interesting addition. We talked about when it was released. We talked about the set, but what cards were you looking for? If you were collecting in '99, if you were collecting today, what cards are you looking for? There are 15 holos in this set. A 64 card set has 15 holos, 15 chases. They are Clefable, Electrode, Flareon, Jolteon, Kangaskhan, Mr. Mime, Nidoqueen, Pidgeot, Pinsir, Scyther, Snorlax, Vaporeon, Venomoth, Victreebel, Vileplume, and Wigglytuff. Whew. 64 cards and 16 of them are holos. That's an incredible ratio. Pokemon, you outdid yourself on this. Wizards of the Coast, well freaking done. Every single one of these cards are a coveted collection piece. Personally, I'm a fan of the evolutions, Flareon, Jolteon, and Vaporeon, in no particular order. Love Kangaskhan, love Nidoqueen, and I think the Pinsir is just so clean, it's so iconic. Right, but this set also had amazing commons and uncommons. It was a great set from top to bottom because there was so few cards that Pokemon could really take their time on each individual card in the set. Some of my favorite common and uncommon cards include Marowak, Persian, Fearow, Butterfree, Executor, Rhydon, Rapidash, and Jigglypuff. What would these cards do for Pokemon? These cards would essentially lay the foundation for what we know Pokemon cards to be today. The hobby and the landscape of Pokemon would be entirely different without Jungle. 1999 was what we call the golden age of collecting, right? Base set was still being printed as Jungle was being printed. We would later get Fossil. We would then come out with Team Rocket and Gym Hero and Gym Challenge. And Wizards of the Coast would go on an absolute tear for a couple of years before Pokemon would ultimately take over the printing. The Wizards of the Coast era Pokemon cards are some of the most coveted collectibles and trading cards ever. Jungle's really no exception. Shout out my older brothers for collecting Jungle back in the day. I was not born yet, but I have many very, very beat up versions of these Jungle Holos. these Jungle Commons and Uncommons. Jungle is a set that is very near and dear to my heart because I have a lot of cards from the set in my personal collection. They're still, you know, prized possessions in my collection and cards that I'll probably never part with. So Jungle just means a lot to me. Yeah, and this video was just a history of the set, the cards that you're looking for, the cards that I love, why I love this set so much. And you're probably wondering, why are you talking about Jungle? Why are you talking about old sets? And the answer is that we got to open an amazing Jungle booster box on our live stream a couple of weeks ago. And there was something very, very wrong with our box, and that will be the topic of an upcoming video in the next few weeks. It'll be very, very soon, and you'll see why it was an error and why it is one of the most rare errors in the Wizards of the Coast era across all cards. And I cannot wait to share those polls and those cards with you guys. And I just wanted to kind of lay the foundation and the groundwork for Wizards of the Coast 1999 and Jungle by talking about this today. And it has been your boy Blue, and Started Family, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
All right. That's amazing.